Hey up, me ducks. How we doing? How's everybody's weekend going so far? Lovely to see so many people, over 50 people here already. So, whoever that is in the Facebook group as well, I can't see your name, so it's not been verified, but hello to everyone also watching in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group as well as here on YouTube. So, welcome, welcome. Let's do our usual introductions. It's very hot, clammy. So I don't have a cuppa this week. I have my mango water, which is just so refreshing. I'm not a big plain water drinker. I should be. I should say, drink more water. And I bought so many bottles. I think if I buy a bottle and fill it with water, keep it in the fridge, I'll keep drinking it. I've even got one at work. It just doesn't happen. But this mango water, it's completely sugar free. So it's sim free on Slimming World. But yeah, it's really nice, and it means I drink water. But I did make a fresh coffee because I saw Caroline had put that she was making a fresh coffee. I brought some El Salvador coffee beans, single origin from Cafe Nero, and I ground them this afternoon and made a lovely fresh coffee. In fact, let me show you a picture, because if you are in the UK and you can get to a Cafe Nero, it's the most amazing coffee. This is what it looks like. With a little bit bright. Let's see if I can turn the brightness down a little bit so you can see it better. El Salvador from Cafe Nero, really gorgeous coffee. So I had one. That's an Instagram picture, and I'm sharing with you there. But as soon as I drank it, I was like really hot and bothered. I thought I can't have another one for Cuppa catch up. I should have saved it really. It's like for now, but I got my water. What's everybody else got? So we had Rob in first. Nice to see you, Rob. And the pictures, is that your town where you live? In the Netherlands, because it looks like something out of Heidi or something. It's just gorgeous and quaint. And the little shop front. Oh, I loved it. Caroline's here and Ramon. Hi, Ramon. We've got our Sandra. Hi, Sandra. And Redwing and Kristen Louise. Lovely to see you. We've got Jennifer and Dawn the Prawn. Nice to see you, Dawn. We've got Susan and Lily Rose and David. Hello, David. 8 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm glad you do Fahrenheit. I still do Fahrenheit. I can't switch to new money. This Celsius business. I still, people say, "Oh, it's 26 degrees," and I think, what's that mean? That feels cold. But if they said to me it's 85 degrees today, I'd be like, "Oh wow, I better put some sunscreen on." Caroline, said Caroline. Carol's Cauldron. Patrice, big love to Simon from both of us. Big love to you and Vanetta, Patrice. Lovely to see you. And then we've got Chien and see if I've missed anybody yet. Christina, Star and Flurry. Nice to see you. Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you doing today? And we have Mary Michelle. Hello. Breezy 60-ish temps there. And Celia's here. Hello. Nice to see you, Celia. How are you doing? And my lovely big sis, Mad Witch, Giselle. Hello, Giselle. I've loved your videos, your last couple of walkthroughs. Both decks look so tempting. We have, well, the last deck I've got Medieval Scapini, but the Giselle deck, I was like, oh, the artwork's really nice. We've got Robin. Hello, Robin. And Redwing, did I say you? If I didn't, hello, Redwing. Natalie, Karina, Jonathan's here. Hello, Jonathan. Anne, Moon Daisy, Victoria, so many lovely people here. We've got Sarah and Miss Moonlight. We also have Hippie on the Hill. I love that channel name, Hippie on the Hill. Oh, yeah, I'm a hippie, and yeah, that's my favourite pastime, sitting on hills, looking out. We've got Jen. Hello, Jen, or Hen. You've changed your channel name again, so that's why I didn't realise, but I've just noticed on the icon it's Hen. Nice to see you. And oh, a wee fancy bitch coffee. Look at you, Simon. I was in the coffee shop yesterday and I saw it. Well, you know how you go in sometimes and they say, "Would you like to try our new El Salvador blend?" And I never like saying no because I've been in retail and hospitality before when you're trying to plug something and everybody just says no. So I said, "Oh, go on then." And it was really nice. So, and I've had it before, so I thought I'd get it again. Fancy pitch coffee. Mystic Mog is here. Hello. And Kelly Toe Carter. And have I caught up? I believe I've caught up. So yeah, lovely to see everybody. Have some water. So nothing in particular to chat about today. I've got a couple of things kind of to show you, not decks. Although I'm going to do a giveaway. I've not done one for a long time, so stick around because I've got a little bit of a giveaway to do. I'm not going to put it in the title afterwards because I want it to be for you guys who are always here. You know, you turn up, you chat with me, and I thought it'd be nice to do it. So yeah, and I'll explain a little bit about that as well. But it's just gone very dim. Let me see if I can turn the brightness up a minute. I think it's just self kind of. That's it. It's nice and bright for me now. So I just thought we could have just a bit of a chat, Q&A. If you've got anything you want to ask me, I'm happy to answer any questions. The only thing I would say, if you say to me, can you show such and such a deck? I don't always have them to hand because there's like 500 decks here and like 300 decks in the spare room. So, and it takes me an age to find them. I'm like, I'm sure it's could be number 18 somewhere. Simon, do you know the name of the indie deck that is a combo of a lot of other decks? Aliman Tarot? Would that be the one? A combination of lots of other decks? I think it's the one you're referring to is Aliman. Simon, did you get your email regarding Patrick Zamatrin's Oracle? I'm still waiting on mine. Yeah, I think they're due Monday. Not to us, to the asylum. Patrick put an update out saying that they were supposed to be delivered Friday, but he got the notification saying they're going to be delivered on Monday. And then he said, have you all had your tracking stuff? And I'm thinking, well, why would we if they haven't been dispatched yet? So I just put, no, I haven't. And so had lots of other people. But I said, I'm not worried because I've never had an issue ordering from Patrick at Deviant Moon. Never. Always comes. So somewhere in time says deluxe version, I fancy glittering mine. Oh, that's Giselle saying to, how are you going to glitter? You left me a comment about glittering. But what Giselle was referring to, I'm going to show you because I did I picked up Earth Magic as well. No, I don't want Earth Magic. Put that one back. Giselle showed on her video that she'd also edged the Pagan Otherworlds because she asked me how I'd done mine. So I told her this is my. So Giselle, you was also saying about because the blue doesn't happen on any other, but the blue, the dye comes off, and it took me about a year of using this before it completely stopped. But you was on about redoing it. You really don't need to, even though it comes off in your hands, it holds really well. That's not had a second coat. That's as is from when I did it the first time round. And are you glad that you've done it? I know you said you'd had a go and it was a bit of a pain to do, but are you glad that you've done it? Because these decks aren't cheap, are they? Now I was kind of umming and ahhing. And the reason why they released a few years of a gold, a proper gold. Can't remember how many carats it was now. And I was like, oh, I wish I'd got a gold edged. And that's got the moon phase cards, which I didn't edge. So if I take them out, that's it. So I bought this metallic gold, which the backs are actually blue and gold. And then I thought, I kind of wish I'd done it in blue. So I did my backup copy, and this never came off. This stayed on. But somebody at the time left a comment in the chat saying, actually, the blue will, because it's something to do with the pigmentation of the dye. I don't know. It's not kind of, I'm not up on that sort of stuff. Let me just put them back there. So anyway, I can see my name being tagged. Hello, Thace. Nice to see you. Jonathan says, do you have any decks on the way that you're excited to show us? The only things I've got 3 decks on pre-order, which is obviously Zama Twins, which we've just been talking about, from Patrick at Deviant Moon. I just love the artwork of that deck. It's phenomenal from the cards that I've seen. And then I've got Kelly Fitzgerald's Nellie's deck. Deck and book, diary, journal. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other deck that I've pre-ordered just gone out of my head. Let me have a look. What is wrong with me? Orders. Oh, yes. Indiegogo, the New Voice Tarot by Ross Salerno, because I love his work as well. So they're the 3 decks that I've got on pre-order. Yeah, and I'm even though I've got a wish list, I'm trying for now, you know, not to succumb. Hi, Night Daughter Oracle, nice to see you. What is that? That is Simon, thank you. I saw it on a video and I subscribed to so many people I couldn't figure out whose video. Caroline's edged hers in gold. What did you use to edge the Pagan Otherworld? So that's what I was coming on to. Giselle showed them today because she asked me what I'd edged it in. And then I thought, I need to get some again. So it's these Winsor & Newton Pro Marker Metallic. And these are obviously the ones that are the Pro Markers where they've got like a fine end and a thicker end. You do have to be careful with these because, let me show you. So they're not, I'll open the blue one. The difference is the thick end is like that, whereas the chisel tipped ones, let me show you a black one, they're the chisel tip, so it's easier on the edge of a card. So you do have to be really careful with them, but they've got lovely colours. This one is gorgeous. I did my Marshmallow Marseille in that colour, and then you've got a silver colour, a pale green, and a gold. And they are lovely, but you just be careful, especially. Oh, there's another one in here. Yeah, there's the bronzy coloured gold, the more orangey gold. So you've got that one and that one. And these are what I did my Deviant Moon edged in, where I did it in black and then went over it with a gold. One I did for Jen. This is red gold, and this one is just gold. So let's see if I've got that to hand. Actually, I should have. Yeah, so I love this Deviant Moon bag. So that's how that came out. With the black underneath, it gives it like a vintage. I didn't want it to look sparkly gold, because, you know, Deviant Moon. So I wanted it to have like an aged, vintagey feel. So I did it black first, left it about a week to properly absorb and dry, and then lightly went over it with the gold. Let's see, any more comments? Loved my edged Pagan of the Worlds. I had more blue metallic on me than on the deck. Yeah, you do have to go careful with it, don't you? I'm too scared to edge the ones that cost over 20. Yeah, it has to be, once you've started as well, you've got to see it through. So just take your time. Doesn't matter if it takes hours, does it? Simon made me do it. When's your new to metallic blue for the blue one, Jonathan? Suddenly gone very hot. I feel like I need my fan switching on, but it interferes with the sound quality when I put the fan on. Robin says, I ordered Zama Twins FOMO because it said 1 copy left. I went back again after I ordered it and it says 2 copies left. Hi, Nicole. First live with me. I actually watched long after the fact. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Well, hello, and it's lovely to have you here with us live. Welcome. I'm also looking forward to getting Nellie's deck and new voice. Simon, there are 2 Lucid Cavendish decks supposed to be released this fall, as well as 1 Alana Fairchild deck. That's cool. I have metallic blue hair now. Pen envy. I'm looking up the pens. They're not that expensive. They're only about £11, I think, for the set of 6. And to say these are usually £3 each. If you buy them singly from W.H. Smith, so they'd be a stationery shop, about £3 each. So £11 for the 6 is really good. Am I the only weirdo that used to like sniffing marker pens at school? No, David. And Tipex. I used to like smelling Tipex and the inside of new pencil cases. I can always remember Miss Edwards was our teacher. She was our, when you was a first year, as it was called. We don't do that now. We do like year 10 or whatever. That's not first years, would it? You start at 5, you'll be year 7, I guess. But we had infants, which was just no years. And then when you were 7, you went to juniors, and you had first year, second year, third year, fourth year. And then you started again, you went to seniors, and you went first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So first year is a big school, as we called it. We had a head of year, 1 female and one male teacher, and her name was Miss Edwards, and she caught me with my nose inside a pencil case because it was the first day of school, and I was obsessed with this smell of new pencils and a new pencil case. And she just walked in, she stood at the front and she said, "Sniffing, are we, Harrison?" I've always remembered it. Always remembered that. Sniffing, are we, Harrison? Like I was, got my head in a bag of glue or something. I didn't get Nellie's deck. I'm going to regret that so much whenever everyone's getting theirs. Did it just not appeal to you, Chris? Or is there none left? The pre-sale was done. Love the smell of new magazines. I must be ultra weird. No, There's amazing smell, isn't there? Becca, hello, Becca. How you doing, me duck? And Richie as well. Hello, Richie. What brand are they, Simon? They're Windsor and Newton. Windsor and Newton Pro Marker Metallics. Really nice soft colours. They've got some neons as well. I was thinking of getting some neons, but I'm not quite sure what decks I would edge in neons. Maybe some of my tarot collectibles I'd edge in neon. I'm very jealous about hearing you talk about being hot. It's currently 0 degrees here. Wow. Have you got snow and ice, Hen? I feel like I'm among kindred souls now. When I was a kid, I had a set of markers that each colour smelled like a matching fruit. Yeah, we had them as well. Kids in kindergarten used to eat the white paste in art and crafts. I used to put the white, it was called gloy over here. So it was glue based, but it was a white paste that you just plastered on everything to make your kind of art stuff, like papier-mâché and all that kind of stuff. And I used to lather my hands in it and used to sit waiting for it to dry so I could have the pleasure of peeling it off and then looking at it because you could see your skin imprint on the dried glory. Michelle Ann, hello. Some lovely friends popping in. Nice to see you. My daughter was homeschooled, so I was on my own sniffing markers. I love the smell of erasers. Yeah. You guys do it so complicated. In Scotland, we have primary school and secondary school. Primary is P1. What's that mean? To P7. And secondary school is S1. Also primary 1 to 7. Simples. Yeah, but it's simple here because you just had your infants and you went for about 2 years, from about 5 to 7 for infants, then juniors, 1 to 4 years, and then seniors, 1 to 4 years. Every time somebody says now, I'm in year 11, I have to add 5 to that and think, oh, the 16, that would have been the year I'd left school at year 11. But I think the states have been doing that forever, aren't they? I used to put my hand in melted wax. I still do that. I'm so sad. I'm sat here sometimes just watching TV and I've got a candle next to me in a jar. I end up pouring it onto. I'm admitting too much here. It's not that I'm into pain or anything like that, but I just love to pour it and then let it set and then peel it off. Sometimes we just never grow up, do we? I used to put my hand, yeah. I used to do that, Simon, with glue too, so Sandra. I never went to school, so mine was simple. Wow. I used to love the smell of creosote and Jay's fluid. Always reminded me of working in the local stable yard. Yeah. Or when my dad would creosote the fence. Oh, some amazing smells. And when you smell them now, you're just literally transported back in time, aren't you, to a certain place. The smell of lino as well. I don't know what you'd call it in other countries, but in kitchens and bathrooms, you'd have a lino. And when it was fresh and put down on the floor, you got that lino-y smell. So distinctive. Simon, is Brixton Academy still in business or did it shut down? I don't know. No, I'm not in London. I'm in the Midlands, so I don't know Brixton. I've heard of Brixton Academy because I can remember Madonna performed there like 20 years ago, but I couldn't tell you if it's open or not. Aren't you weird? Don't worry, you can share with the group. There's no kink shaming here. I'm amongst friends. Simon, warm wax is good for arthritis pain. That's good to know if I ever end up with arthritis. I used to like licking the 2 electric. We were talking about that at work the other day because the fire alarm went and I had to go to the hardware shop to get one of those little batteries. And I said, can you remember when we used to lick them? You had to lick both positive and negative together, and it give you like a buzz. Kink shaming. I'm weird all the way. I think we're all weird. Weirdos unite. Hello, Green Mountain Mystic. Nice to see you as well. So yeah, what else? So a couple of other things. I've been trying to get, because there's a bit of a bad press at the moment about things like sage and Palo Santo, because it's being kind of chopped up and everything else at a rate of knots, and it's becoming endangered and all that. And I do love sage for cleansing and purifying and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to add into that. So I've been trying to get some ethically sourced sage, and I found one it's ethically sourced, let me get this right, and sustainably harvested. So what they take down, they replant, which is great. So I found this. It's called Sarimois. I think that's how you say it anyway. And it tells you all about it. But it's a nice little set, and it was really inexpensive. And look at this. Look what you get. So there's a beautiful feather. I mean, I didn't really need another feather because I've got this one, which I've often used for for burning and wafting around. But I've also got in my Deviant Moon cubby, which is here. This is my favourite because it's crow and raven feather. Look at that! How gorgeous that is! And I got this from a. Look at the luminescence. I got this from a Pagan Pride. It's got the Mildred Payne Pocket Oracle editions in there. From a Pagan Pride event in Nottingham about 5 years ago now, I think. What the last Pagan Pride one that we had in the city. Oh, now I'm not getting it out. There we go. Pop it back, everything back in. Where did? Yeah, there we go. But it's lovely, isn't it? It's a really nice feather. And then you get 3 sage. Oh gosh, that smell is gorgeous. You get some sand. You get an abalone shell, which is really beautiful. Look at that. And then you also get a little stand for said abalone shell, which I think for the price, so all of that £15, and I thought, wow, that's really, really good. So little shell, little stand. See if you can see it. I'll pop it there. You put your sand in, and then you've got your little smudge sticks. Oh gosh, and I just feel really. I feel happier because I haven't bought sage. I bought a huge bag of loose sage probably about 2 years ago now from a shop in Derby. Huge, and every time I do packages and stuff, I shove loads of it in. Got itchy nose now. I've smelt that. And it's depleted. But again, like I said, I didn't want to be buying it thinking that I was adding to the problem. So smell of sage just gone up my nose. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's making me all twitchy. Right, where did I get up to? Weird is fun. I think I got up to weird is fun. We are the weirdos, mister. What's that from? We are the weirdos, mister. From a film, isn't it? Does anyone know if British had me shut down or not? I did grow white sage, but it doesn't like cold, so I use my own sage now. Buy a pot from the supermarket, cut it and dry it, and you can use that too. Giselle, you don't know what I'm like with living things. Nothing survives here. I don't have a single plant. I've got artificial on like my altars and things, but I don't have a single plant because I can't keep anything. I'm terrible. Um, Simon, every time I do or say something weird in front of my husband and he comments, I simply say, at least I'm entertaining. Very true, Carol. Um, Jennifer grows her own sage. What's your favourite bird? Favourite bird? Probably kingfishers, I think. Yeah, I think kingfishers. I love to see robins in winter. Um, I saw an owl on a fence post behind my house the other night. I can remember being in Utah and going into my in-laws barn, and there was a huge, big barn owl, and it startled me because I didn't expect them to be that big. It's like a small child, and it was just looking at me from above, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's huge! If that flies at me, I couldn't get out there quick enough." I remember there was just that moment of standing still. We made eye contact, and then I just saw the huge scale of this beast. Oh, the craft, of course. Um, uh, I have over 60 house plants. I might have a problem. Uh, yeah. So my nose is really itchy now since I smelt that sage. Let me have some mango water. I've actually got a much bigger abalone shell as well. Um, that Elaine from Tarot Tats and Tea sent me a couple of years ago. It's quite a large one, which is over on my table under the window at the minute. This sits quite nicely there. So, what else? Budgies are my favourite bird. I miss my budgie. Ah, spiritual guardians. Yeah. And then the other thing to show you was I was walking this morning and I've been busy this morning, been out for my walk, been with a friend, been and had coffee, came back, I had to do Slim and World shopping at the food warehouse, which is out of town. So stocked up there, came back, then had to go and do Wilko shopping, which is all your toiletries and all that kind of stuff. Then I came back and did some food shopping, and I was weighed down with bags and everything. And I went past a shop, and I saw this in the window, and it's perfect. It takes me back to being 15. And I mentioned it recently when I did the Tarot Tubers A to Z, and I got to the prompt which was M, which was memorable moment. I mentioned this memorable moment. So look at that. Queen live at Wembley Stadium. I was there. It's such a defining moment in my life. I can't believe it is now 37 years ago. My first ever concert. But I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, Queen live at Wembley Stadium. I still remember it like it was yesterday. So I had to go in and get this, and it was the only one they had. So yeah, I need to find somewhere to put it. But Freddie is a legend. Oh, I know. It was such a showman. There'll never be anybody like Freddie ever again. Um, and boy, could he connect with a crowd. So this was 1986, live at Wembley, but the year before was Live Aid. Everybody would have heard, even if you weren't even born, you'll have heard of Live Aid. It's like Woodstock. I wasn't born, but I've heard of Woodstock. And it wasn't going great. The money wasn't coming in as much as they'd hoped. And if you've seen the film Bohemian Rhapsody, it covers it quite well there. And then late in the afternoon, Queen came on, and I still remember where I was. I'd gone to see my dad. My mum and dad split up, and I went to my dad's house, and we sat watching Live Aid, and Queen came on and just rocked Wembley. And then they decided the year after to try and fill Wembley on their own as a headlining act. They did have 3 support. They had In Excess, who was unheard of then, and everybody was saying, "Who's Inks?" Then The Alarm, 68 Guns, and then Status Quo, and then they came on. I think it started about 4 o'clock, and I think they came on around 9, maybe 8 or 9 at night, just as the daylight was starting to go. It was in July of 1986, and it was incredible. Even when I think about it now, I get goose pimples. It was amazing. I'd never been to a concert, and the stadium was full. And not only did they fill it, so we was one of the first people to get tickets, and I had to beg my mum if I could go. But we they sold out super fast, so I was really lucky. So they put a second night on the Saturday as well. They filled it twice, so 78,000 people twice. And it was just amazing. I can remember it was the first time I ever saw the Mexican wave as well. And I looked across the stadium, and I could see this it looked like a mirage of this ripple effect. And I was like, "What's that happening?" And a friend said, "Oh, it's the Mexican wave." So anyway, yeah, this is going to hang proudly somewhere in my home, just because it's connected and tied up with so many happy memories. Okay, so what else are we all talking about? So I've got up to the craft. White sage is endangered, but I don't know if blue sage is. I've heard of green sage, not heard of blue sage. I sometimes burn cedar or pine needles for cleansing. Okay. Freddie is legend. That's it. I saw that. I saw Queen with Adam Lambert in Dallas with Mom. Oh wow, that's cool. I do like Adam Lambert. Have you seen the YouTube clip of him singing "The Muffin Man" in the style of Cher? He nails it. It is so good. I've watched that clip like 20 times. It's amazing how he just does it. It's on the spot, spinning a wheel, and the song comes up, Muffin Man, and then in the style of the wheel spins, it says Cher, and he just walks up to the mic and starts singing the Muffin Man in the style of Cher, and it's brilliant. A classic. How amazing. My first concert was Peter Gabriel. Freddie is much missed. He really is. And do you know what? I mean, I've been back to Wembley. I saw Blonde Ambition at Wembley in 1990. That was the next time I went there for a concert, which was amazing. And then I went back in 93 and saw the Girly Show. But nothing. And I'm a huge Madonna fan, and I'm a huge Queen fan as well, but nothing beats your first concert. And for that concert to be my first really set the bar high. I was driving home one night through the Somerset countryside, and an owl swooped over my car windscreen and then my roof, and I saw his floppy legs. Scared me to death. I bet. I remember watching Live Aid. Yeah, was it Phil Collins who performed at both? He got on Concorde. He performed at Wembley, then that's when Concorde was still in operation. He jumped on Concorde and he flew to, it was Philadelphia, wasn't it? Where they hosted the American Live Aid. And then he performed there. And it was the first time anybody, obviously, it was like breaking a world record for something. Does anyone know when Tarot the Witch's Garden is released in the UK? I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure it's my thing, but we have lost so many great performers. Love Freddie. Yeah, gone way too soon. We often say that, don't we, about, people that have gone too soon, but he's sorely missed. Simon, you're blessed to have seen Freddie live. I wasn't even born yet. I feel very blessed. I do feel very fortunate. Okay, Becca, see you later. Iron Maiden was a favourite of mine. It was Sting, wasn't it? Oh, was it Sting? For some reason, I thought it was Phil Collins. I've only been to 2 concerts in my whole 50 years. Beach Boys and Wham! Wow, that's a combination. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Madonna 3 times because I saw her, like I say, Blonde Ambition and Girly Show, and then I won tickets to go to Live 8, which was 20 years after Live Aid. It's called Live Aid because it was something to do with the 8 summit countries or something that was going to talk about famine, and I can't really remember now. So that would have been 2006. Me and a friend went, and Wembley was being rebuilt because when I saw Queen, it was in the original Wembley Stadium. So it was in Hyde Park, and that was an amazing event. And Madonna performed there, so I've seen her. Do you follow drag? I'm obsessed with Manchester. You was on about that the other night on I think Chris's channel. I've never even watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I know. Is it Freddie Mercury Day? No, Calla, I was just saying that I went past a shop earlier and they had this in the window, live at Wembley, and it was my first concert, so I had to get it. So that's why we're talking about Queen and Freddie Mercury at the moment. But every day should be a Freddie Mercury day. Why we're on about Jethro Tull? I'm not quite sure. That's the thing when you miss some comments and you're like, everybody's talking about Jethro Tull. Simon, since you were there, how close did the movie get to the event? Now, I wasn't at Live Aid. I watched that on telly at my dad's house. It was the year after Live Aid that I got to see Queen, so that's not part of the film. I got to see Tina Turner live in Manhattan at the Ritz. She was unbelievable. She'll be missed too. She really will. I would buy that if I saw it at a shop. Yeah, especially when you've got a connection to it and a memory associated with it. Oh, this is getting warm already. It's that hot today and close. I need to drink it while it's pretty cool. Oh dear. So, what's everybody else been up to? Anything fun and exciting? My internet is hiccuping. Hiccuping? Is it as in keep dropping and coming back in and out? And I should really look at these comments to see if there's any more in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, because I've been looking at my iPad, which is only showing me the ones from YouTube. I can't go back all that way. Queen at Wembley was arguably the greatest live rock set ever played. Fantastic. Yeah, I think I have to agree. There's so many defining moments. They had these huge inflatables, from what I remember as well, and I think one broke free when floating off. I think it was Brian May inflatable, but it was so amazing, really amazing. Been taking a trip down memory lane and listening to incredible string band. It's amazing though, isn't it? When, like we was talking earlier about smells, it's the same with music. That can take you or transport you back to a certain place and time. How hot is it there, Simon? Don't think it's. Have I got my phone? My phone is over there on charge. That will tell me, and I have it set for Fahrenheit as well because I'm old school. But I'd imagine it's late 70s or something like that. My son's wedding was last night. Oh wow, Debbie! Congratulations to your son and his new wife or husband. I'm making an assumption there. I went to Stratford-upon-Avon last week. Lovely river cruise and the butterfly farm. It's lovely at Stratford. That's where Selkie's from. I've not seen Selkie for a while. I must send her a message and see how she is. But she's in Stratford-upon-Avon. I went there last in 2018 when I travelled around. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful town. Oh wow, Night Daughter Oracle is working on her first Oracle deck. That's exciting. I love your electric crystal. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's just, if I turn it off, it's just a rock salt lamp. But just a normal, regular rock salt lamp. But you've got all these different settings. You can have it all the different colours, or you can have it changing. But if you had just you could just go with that colour and keep it on that colour, or green, red, and then different shades of red. Now I can't remember what it is to have it on the different one. This flash. Don't want flash though. Strobe. Oh no, that's too distracting. Fade. I haven't really played around with it yet. Oh, that's quite nice. And smooth. I like fade, I think. We'll have fade. Little things and all that. Where was I? Hello, Laura. Nice to see you. 84 degrees and you're in the UK. Oh, 80, so it's in the 80s then. I'm not surprised. It feels it. I've sat in front of a tower fan this afternoon. Like I said, I had a really busy morning. So I came back, sat down with my Grey's Anatomy. I'm coming towards the end of season 5 now. Watched a few episodes of that in front of a tower fan, like, oh, gosh, I need water. 100 degrees in Houston, Texas. I can always remember, Laura, I had a stopover at Houston, Texas, going to Utah once. We went from Birmingham. No, we didn't. We went from Heathrow to not Chicago, that was when I used to go the other route, to New York, Newark. So Heathrow to Newark, Newark to Houston, Texas, Houston, Texas to Utah. It was such a faff. Never did that again. Just went Birmingham, Chicago to Utah after that. But I can remember stepping off the plane in Houston, Texas, and it felt like I was being suffocated with a hot blanket. You know, like when you're in a barber shop. Well, you probably wouldn't, but in a barber shop, they put a hot towel when you have shave over your face. It was like that, and it was something like 103, I think. I was like, oh, how do people live here? 60 to 65 in Santa Barbara. The biggest name I saw in person was Tom Petty. Don't know Tom Petty. Stevie Nicks. No Stevie Nicks. She's a legend. Simon's having himself a rock salt rave. I'd stare at that lamp all afternoon. I've got so many. I've got one over there, which is a bowl with rocks in it, rock salt rocks in it. And then in the bedroom, I've got a rock salt lamp that's got like a flat surface and it's got a rock salt stone on top for like hot stone massage. So after it's been on a while, the stone gets really hot and you can pull it. I always put it like on the where my damaged vertebrae is. Oh, it's really nice. See if there's any more capitals or tags. Madwich says, I love Grey's Anatomy. I think I need to catch the last 2 series. Yeah, no spoilers, please, from anyone, because I've only just, after all these years, discovered it. We have AC. I worked in Taiwan for 6 months. The humidity felt like drowning. Ramon says it's cool here in Philadelphia, 75 degrees, cool for this time of year. Missouri, going to be 91 in about half an hour. Can you lick rock salt? Is it salty or just a name? It is salty. It's actually salt. That's why you can't get them wet or anything like that, because they'll just disintegrate. And some, if you have them in like a damp, well, not a damp room, but where there's humidity and things, they kind of fall apart over time, and you can touch them and they feel a bit moist. You think, oh, that's not gonna last. But I wouldn't lick it. I wouldn't want to lick rock salt. As I remember it, Houston was like trying to breathe molasses. I got to see Ozzy while 8 months pregnant with my daughter. She grew up and named my granddaughter Ozzy Moon. When will be the next Throwback Thursday? That's a good question. Is it a week on Thursday, Chris? I think it is, isn't it? I know it was July, and this Thursday will still be June. 29th. Yeah, so I think is it something like the 5th? That date seems to stick in my mind. But I think it's a week on Thursday. And it's Tarot of the She that we're doing. It's the first Thursday of the month, Karina. So a week on Thursday. Good. I thought it was. Cool here too on Long Island. My daughter's been living in London, had to fly to California. Couldn't believe it was only in the low 70s. Are we going to have another Glastonbury Tarot meetup? We should really organise something. Probably too late for this year, but we should probably try and organise something. Somebody was having a live the other day, and they said we should try and do a meetup in Glastonbury. Who was it? Who was live? Who would have said it? Oh, it was Brian Cormac Carr, who was a guest on Elaine's channel from Tarot Tats and Tea. And he was saying he would love to have another meetup. I've actually met Brian twice, because I met him in Birmingham, his hometown, when I did the little tour around that I just mentioned in 2018. And then he came to the first tarot meetup, which was pre-COVID, back in 2019, here in Nottingham. I've never met up with him in Glastonbury. So maybe we should plan it for next year. But I am going to New York early part of next year, but maybe later in the year we could do it. Simon, would you ever come back to the States? Yes, I'm planning on coming to New York, because it's a place I've always wanted to go. Ever hear from Twist or Connor or Elle? So Twist the Leaf popped up in a live Cuppa Catch-Up and Cards about a month ago, but we're not seeing him for a while. But yeah, he was here about a month ago. Connor, I haven't seen since he went off to university. He checked in for a bit, but then, yeah, he seems to have disappeared. I forgot what his channel name was. And Elle, as in our Elle, then yeah, all the time. I hear from Elle all the time. And they're doing okay with Jen over in Seattle. Still doing school. Did Mark Twain say the coldest winter I've ever spent was summer in San Francisco? That's a place I'd love to go to as well, San Francisco. Thank you for the hearts. They just magically appeared then. Glastonbury is a good place for a meetup. It is. I got to take the Tarot the She workshop with Emily. It's really deep in my understanding. That's cool. Okay, shall we do the giveaway time then? Glastonbury, I heard Elton John is having his farewell concert there. Is it Glastonbury this weekend? Is it Glastonbury now? As in the concert, Glastonbury? The festival, whatever you call it. Glastonbury Festival, isn't it? I mean, it's not technically Glastonbury, but... So, yes, says Michelle Ann. I've still got that itchy nose. Simon, let me know when you want to visit New York. I may be able to find you a place to stay. That would be amazing, because even though by then, that's why I've delayed it to the beginning of next year, even though Elle and Jen will be living in New York, properties are very small, so there's no guarantees I could stay with them anyway. So I might, but I did say, well, if you're in New York, you might know of some relatively nice but cheap places to crash. So yeah, I will do it. I think I'm hoping for like the kind of spring bank type holiday, you know, like May time, April, May. It's the festival now. Yeah. Okay. So giveaway time. Now, I've got a little deck that I absolutely love. I have showed it before on my channel. I've had it for about 6 months. It's called Between the Worlds, and it's by Monica Badursky, and it's a Casting and Curio Oracle deck. And this is the box that it comes in. Monica Badursky, you probably know from Shadowland Tarot, Shadowland Lenormand. She also did a black and white version of Shadowland called House of Shadows back in 2018 that then became the Lenormand deck. The book, I have to say, and I'm not surprised because the book for Shadowland Tarot is amazing. She's a storyteller as well. And that's what I love about Shadowland, because the cards come to life because she would narrate a story. And Between the Worlds, I love it because you get a little card. So I'll just pull the first one. They're only small, they're matte, and they've got these keys on the back. So Devil Head 44. So when you find it in the book, Devil Head, you get keywords, so mischief and mayhem, but then you get a story. So it's for here, it says, so the devil walks in and sits on the chair in front of Sam. Oh Lord, not another one of those terrible and pointless jokes, dear. Listen, it's good, the devil says. Thanks for coming by, Sam. Why do you want the job exactly? You realise it's not an easy job. And it tells you a story, and it's written so beautifully. So you get about 2 pages, now I'm carrying on over the page, 2 pages of the story. Then you get about the item, because even though she's drawn them herself, she's drew and painted these images based on her own charms and curios that she's collected over a lifetime. So I'll have things like a beaver tooth or a doll's arm and things like that. They're her own items. So this is for the devil's head, the item. I found this little devil head made of clay in a shop in which the owner imports many things from Mexico. The playful yet unambiguous symbolism perfectly summarized mischief, thought-provoking activity, and sometimes manipulation. Then she'll give you a message, and then advice. So upright advice and reversed advice. And then over on the 4th page, this side here, you get some reflection points. When have you manipulated people in your life? Do you find persuasion difficult to differentiate from manipulation? When have you purchased or entered into agreements you later regretted? How do societal messages manipulate us in general? Do you ever see social media as manipulative? Are advertisements persuasive or manipulative? Where do you see persuasion as a positive thing? And these could be journal prompts or just things to sit and contemplate. But the book, it's like 240 pages, and it's absolutely brilliant. The way it's written, I love this deck. It's fast become one of my favorite little oracle decks to grab. However, as you know, I review for Schiffer Red Feather, and I get a catalogue probably twice a year, and they'll say, if there's anything in this catalogue you'd be interested in reviewing, let us know. So you do get to make a choice. They don't just send you things. And I saw this, and I saw some of the artwork, and I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. And then there was a problem last year with Schiffer, where there was getting some issues on delivery and stock and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of forgot about it. So I bought it. I think I saw Kelly Bear, my friend Kelly, do a walkthrough and thought, oh, I've got to get that deck. So I bought it. And then, of course, the deck arrived. So, I mean, I love it that much. I thought, well, I could have it as a backup. And then I thought, actually, you know, I'll do it as a giveaway, because I feel that, you know, it was something that's been sent to me anyway, so kind of like share the love. So I'm going to put it up as a giveaway. If anybody wants to be in with a chance to win a copy of Between the Worlds, then please leave a comment, not here now live in the comments, because that will be lost. In the video itself, where you can write comments, and if you're watching this back, that's the only option you've got anyway. But you can put anything you want, but to enter, can you put a key? So, you know, you can just put your symbols. There's the key symbol, and one of the cards is a key as well. Yeah, so the keys are quite prominent in this deck. So, any comment in the comments with a key, and in a few weeks, I will do the draw. So I'll get everybody's names and I'll do a draw. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's open to everybody. I really, well, no, I mean, if people are giving something away, it's lovely. But you know, when I've been in things before, or people say it's only open to people in this country or what, I always think, oh, that's, you know, it's a shame. So I've never done that. It's open to anybody who would like it. I'll cover the shipping costs wherever you are in the world, um, just so you've got the opportunity to enter. But if you don't have this deck, it's a great deck to have. Not only just to read the stories in the book, because the book's written so beautifully. And I keep it in this little box and it sits next to me on my little table, because I grab it all the time. Love it. So yeah, so unopened, still sealed, copy of Between the Worlds. Some of this warm water. Exactly like that. Star and Flurry. Yeah. So just the little key symbol like Star and Flurry is put there. Let's go look at some more comments then. We've got about 15 minutes left before I pull a card. That sounded like a gunshot. Where did I get up to? The Glastonbury meetup, I think, was the being in Scotland, I have to keep my salt lamp lit most of the time to preserve it. Yeah, if you leave them for too long without putting them on and heating them up, they do get damp because it draws the moisture out of the air as well. Tower of the She is one of my faves. I've done that because I've seen the comment from Robin about Connor Twist. Do you hear anything from Dan Thorned Vale? Yeah, Dan sent me a message probably about 2 weeks ago. He's loved up at the minute, so he's busy in a relationship. He did have a bit of a health scare, not for me to say, but it's all fine. And he's doing all right now. So yeah, he has been absent a bit, but he's been busy with medical stuff, but also his new partner. Right, let's see where I'm just going to scroll down. Simon, were you able to catch placebo at Download Festival earlier this month? No, Download Festival is that Donington? It used to be called Monsters of Rock years ago, and when I worked on the M1, we used to get when it was Monsters of Rock weekend. We used to be so busy at the service station, coachloads of people coming in, all smelling of Olbas oil. We used to rub Olbas oil into the leather jackets. Was it Olbas oil? Simon, we should meet in New York for Reader Studio in April. That would be cool. I can only take certain times off though, because I can only go when college is closed, because we're not allowed holidays in term time. What are you doing in New York? Visiting. It's a place I've always wanted to go, Michelle Ann. Always wanted to go. Didn't she do the Shadowlands deck? She did, yeah. Shadowlands is Call's fave. Chris says, oh, I didn't know Monica had done an Oracle. Yeah. It's been out probably about 6 months or so now. Shadowlands is a great deck, and Guy bought one of my first mass markets to come. Yeah, yes, it's fantastic. The quality, that's where the first time I saw kind of like a step up of mass market decks becoming more like indie decks, because it got beautiful gilding, lovely matte cardstock, really good detailed book. I was like, wow, this is they've up their game. What a sweet little deck. It really is. It's great just to, throw in your bag or whatever. Yeah. What's the key for? I had to run out. Just so if you want to be entered into the giveaway, not the comments here, but the comments on the video, just pop a key, or you can say whatever you want, but as long as the key's there, I'll know that you want to be entered. Because in the past, when I've done giveaways, people have put comments and they've said, just leaving this comment, the commenting on something I've talked about. So it might be about, 3 days from now, somebody might leave a comment about Sage, because I've talked about Sage. But then they'll say, but I don't want to be entered into the giveaway. I've already got the deck, or it doesn't interest me. So just so I know that you want to be entered into the giveaway, put a key symbol, and then I'll know. Stay safe, Simon. Are you off night, daughter? Enjoy your weekend. It was at Derby. Oh, Derby. Placebo gig right now. What kind of oil? Sandra would know. Sandra's still here. I think Sandra used to be a grab. They used to rub a certain oil into their leather jackets and stuff, and it always had this one patchouli oil. My stepsister used to do it. She used to sit there rubbing it into a leather jacket. Hello, Tamaya. Nice to see you. Oh, it's jumping a bit. Patchouli oil, Simon. Was it patchouli oil? It is patchouli. Oh, patchouli oil. Patchouli oil on the leather. Patchouli oil is something else that really brings back memories. Yeah, it brings me back to working the night shift when it was Monsters of Rock. But it was cool all the same. Okay, so I think I'll pull a card and we'll wrap up. I shall make my tea. You don't feel like eating much, they do, when it's really warm like this either. Well, I don't. I love patchouli. I'll have to try and get some. I can't remember what it smells like. I know when I smell it, it will take me back, but I haven't smelt it for such a long time. I can't place it at the minute. Mink oil. I still wear straight musk oil. Love it. I like oud. I've got a few oud oils that I wear. Night oud is one of my favourites. When it's hot, do you run a fan by your bed or have a pre-bedtime cool bath? No, I just sleep on top of the bed. I tend to wake up in the night and get underneath. But I sit in front of a fan on the sofa, tower fan, that keeps it nice and cool. Okay, so card for the week was to focus on. What do we need to pay attention to this week? Oh gosh, this card is stalking me. Three of Wands. Did this come up last week or at least a couple of weeks ago? But it comes up a lot for me just recently. So a message for us to focus on in the week, I guess, it's just a case of that this week ahead we have an opportunity, I suppose, to be able to look ahead. We have an open perspective, and I guess the foresight as well. When I pull this card, it reminds me to be aware of my intentions, because we might have an open perspective that presents itself to us. We might have an opportunity to look ahead, but also we have to think about if we're given this opportunity to have this foresight, then we need to think very carefully before we go in a certain direction or make our move, to think about what our intentions are, because that's key. That's the first step before the first step, if that makes sense. The first step in the process is thinking about why we want to go in the direction we want to go in, why this new adventure that could be presenting to us, what's our intentions for doing it, what's our intentions for going in this new direction. So I think that's something we can focus on for this week. Stop humble bragging. Not quite sure who's humble bragging, but anyway, yeah, that's our message for the week ahead. Just put this back. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. Oh, that's got one of them done. Need to sort that out in a minute. Yeah, have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully I'll be back in the week, and we'll probably give it 4 weeks for the giveaway. So give me time to get through the last couple of weeks, last few weeks of work. I think we break up on something like the 21st. So whatever Saturday follows that. So it'll probably be 4 weeks from today. So if you want to be entered, just pop that key symbol in and I'll get everybody's names. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's been lovely to hang out as always. And yeah, until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.